morning, guys. Kelly here. I want to talk to you a little bit this morning about your cold market. So, many of you, most of you, still have a very warm market. You are looking through your list of people on Facebook. You're thinking about your friends, your relatives, your neighbors, that Frank's list that you have already created, your friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, and kids. And you've gone through that list. So let's say you've exhausted that. I will tell you that as an Emerald Ambassador, I have gone through most of my warm market. Now, I have lots of people on Facebook that I have not directly talked to about Plexus, but most of those are sort of friends, what I would say, on the periphery. They maybe are watching me, I've known them, but I have not reached out directly. So yes, that is in a way a warm market, but it's probably on the cold side. But when I'm talking about your cold market, I'm talking about people that you have not met yet. Now, my background prior to Plexus was in sales. And there was a time when I lived up in the Washington, D.C. market, and I had to walk into buildings that had security guards standing there. There were huge signs that said no soliciting. I had to basically pretend like I worked there. I would have a lunchbox. I would have like a briefcase. I would just walk right past them. Sometimes they would stop me, and I would get escorted out of the building. Sometimes I would get into the building and I would get all the way to the elevator, and you would have to have a code to get up the elevator. And I would just hope that somebody would be walking into the elevator at that time, and I would sort of sneak in with them and just get off on whatever floor they got off on. There were times when I would almost be sneaking up and down the stairwell so that I could go up and down different hallways and floors in a particular building, trying to sell something, not for my own company, but for somebody else's company. I was paying somebody else's mortgage. I'm helping pay for somebody else's kids to go to college and build somebody else's dream. So on a regular basis, I would get escorted out by security. And was that humiliating? Sort of, but I got over it because I wanted to be successful. And I was one of the most successful business builders in that company because I said, you know what, I don't care if I get embarrassed and I have to be escorted out. So what? That didn't happen all the time. And often I would get lots of sales in the process. And I wasn't afraid to drive to DC in the rain because I knew that there weren't other salespeople that were driving to DC in the rain. They were sitting at home waiting for a sunny day. And so the reason that I'm talking to you about this is now with Plexus, I think about sometimes that I'm afraid or that I don't want to be embarrassed if I talk to my waitress about Plexus, or I'm standing in line at the grocery store and what will people think if I talk to the person behind me in line about Plexus? Who cares? I guarantee you that no security officer is going to come and escort me out of the grocery store, that the manager of the restaurant is likely not going to come over to my table and ask me to leave. So I have really had to just get over that. There are so many people that are around you that you see every day. The grocery store, where you get your hair cut, where you take your dog to be groomed. Just all kinds of service people. People that are standing behind the counter at the gas station, at the bank, at the dry cleaners, where you get your nails done. I mean, all these people that you're meeting that you're missing out on if you're not talking to them about Plexus. And who cares if they're not interested? Talk to them the next time. Talk to the next person. That sort of numbers game, if you will, that is going to put you in a habit of meeting new people, friending new people on Facebook, talking to them about the products, giving them samples, following up. This is how you build your cold market, guys. And then once you meet them and you've had that conversation and you're following up, it's no longer cold, it's warm. They're expecting you to follow up, and you can pull them into a three-way message, and you follow the same steps as you would just like it was somebody that you went to high school with. So hopefully that was helpful for you today. My challenge for you today is to make 3 to 5 new connections this week that are in your cold market and make them not so cold anymore. So I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.